Today we're going to talk about the stamp healing brush and the cloning stamp tool. We've done a couple series on the cloning stamp tool. I get asked every so often, well, what's the difference between the cloning tool and the stamp healing tool? They are very similar. The cloning tool actually copies and pastes from one area to the other. So it takes it from the area that you've indicated and it pastes it over the other area just the way it found it. Where the spot healing brush will blend the stuff around it and bring it together as one. In some places, it's a great tool. I think you have to look at every picture and what touch-up you're doing in order to decide which tool is the proper tool to use. We're going to start with the spot healing brush first. The picture I have here, she's got a few blemish marks on her, and I'm going to come over here on the left side. I'm going to grab the tool that says spot healing brush. I'm going to come down here. We can change the size of the brush. If I'm using more than one layer, I've got a checkbox which says sample all layers. So if I come up here, and I remember I'm using the healing brush, I'm going to come over this spot on the side of her face, and I'm going to click once. It's gone. What it's done is, in that area, it grabbed what was around and covered in the center of it. I can come down to some of these other little marks down here, click, and they're gone. Some places you may want to bring the brush down a little bit smaller, click, they're gone. It will smooth out an area like we're doing right there and do an excellent job of it. Some spots up here, and we'll clear them right out of there. It's a handy tool for that. It's actually a better tool than the cloning tool for removing spots like this. Now, if I come up here a little further, she's got another little blemish mark right in a hairline. And if I come up here and try to use the spot healing brush on it, you can see what happened. It actually brought some of the color of the brown of her eyebrow into it and also cut into it. That's a place where you probably should be using the cloning tool. I'm going to remove that again. This time I'm going to come over here on the left side. I'm going to grab the cloning tool and come down here. I'm going to bring the brush up just a little bigger, maybe not that big, about like that. If you remember how the cloning tool works, we find a spot that we want to copy. We hold down the Alt key. You'll see it changed. Hit the key once and then move to the spot you want. So what I want to do is I want to copy the edge of the eyebrow. Hold down the Alt key. Press the mouse button once. Now I can come over here and I can kind of brush myself right on around the corner there. I went just a little bit too far. And maybe come down on this side a little bit. Hit the Alt key, hold down the mouse button, come back up this way. Hold down the Alt key. Sometimes you have to work it into place. Maybe come down in here and pick up a little bit of the skin tones and touch that up a little bit. So I mean, there's a place for the cloning tool, there's a place for the brush. The brush did an excellent job on the spots that were out in the open. Along the eyebrow, then the cloning tool. I come down here, I also have a little spot there on her lip. That could go either way. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start first with the healing brush. And if I come down here and try to remove that mark on the corner of her lip, you're going to see what's going to happen is it's going to cut into the lip. I'm going to do an undo on that. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to grab the cloning tool. Come back over here. Actually, what I'm going to do is bring the brush down a little smaller. I'm going to grab the line. What I want to do is copy the line on her lip. So I'm going to hold down the brush, hold down the Alt key. While it's down, I'm going to hit the mouse button once. Then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to start clicking, clicking, clicking. I don't have to drag, I can click. And you'll see that what it did was it actually copied the line on her lip, made it look a little more natural. So there is a place for the cloning tool. There is a place for the healing tools. I can use the healing tool in a number of places. I hope that helps on that one. The other picture I brought in, I've done this in the cloning demo. It's a real estate picture. What I did was I removed the wires up in the top with the cloning stamp tool. I also fixed some of the grass in the yard and along the driveway. I still warn people, don't take all the stuff out of the driveway unless it's a personal picture, because if it's a house that's for sale, you don't want to put out false advertising that it's got a driveway with no cracks in it. It really does. Okay, what I've done is I've picked a spot out here. I've held down the Alt key, pushed down the mouse, and kept on drawing over and down on my wire, and it did remove some of it. It does do a better job of blending because we're trying to blend the blue together. So that part works good. I will come up here and try to touch on this a little bit. Hold down the Alt key, press the button, come over here, follow the wire back up. Let off the mouse, and it's cleared it out pretty good. We did the one before using the cloning tool. Hold the Alt button down, and then come over here and kind of follow that wire down. And it does a pretty good job. The cloning tool, we had to work at that a little more, because what it wanted to do was it wanted to copy a little bit of the different blues. If I got on one side, I got a little brighter blue. I got on the other side, I got a little darker blue. So it kind of varied. I get the mouse up here where I want it. If I hold this down and then come down, it does a fairly good job. In some areas you'll see there, you can see a little bit right there, some of the difference in the blues. You kind of have to go back and forth if you look at it real close. The problem is when we get down into some of these areas here, the spot healing brush wants to pick up pieces of that tree. And it doesn't do a bad job on the roof because it's got a pattern that it's going to bring in. So it pretty much covers, it brings the pattern from one over from the other one. So in some areas of that, you can get away with a brush. The next area, you're going to have to use the cloning tool. Up here in the trees, I think you can kind of get by with both. You have to work with both of them. You do have to decide which one you want. It may fit one application and not the other. Now, if I come down here and try to fix the yard, it does a pretty good job on the yard. You have to work at it a little bit at a time. If I use the cloning tool, I can come up here and grab a piece of it by holding down the Alt key, come down here, I can brush it out. I probably use the cloning brush more than I do the healing brush. The other thing is, if I come up here with the healing brush and try to clean up this up along here, what I'm going to end up doing is I destroy that line that's along the driveway. You can't distinguish between the driveway and that gray gravel right there. I'm going to back that back out of there a minute. Once I've opened that back up, I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to get the cloning stamp tool, come back over here along the edge of the driveway, hold down the Alt key, hit the mouse once. Then I can come back up here and I can start, remember, cut and paste is what I'm doing. So really what I'm doing is I'm copying that line along the driveway. And I just keep pasting it ahead of me. So when I get done, you won't see a blotched area, you'll see a straight line all along that edge, as you can see. Then I can come back with the cloning stamp tool, grab a little bit of the grass, kind of clean that up a little bit. So there's a place for the stamp tool, which is the cloning tool, and there's also a place for the healing brush. I can use the healing brush sometimes out here in the grass where you see white spots. I can come back over here and grab the healing brush and come up here on the grass and click once. It'll grab the grass around it and match it in there. It's a quick, easy fix. You don't have to hold down the Alt key and keep going back. So it will do a good job there. But when you've got a straight line or an edge or a change in the colors and stuff like that, then you need to go back to the cloning stamp tool. I hope that helped explaining the difference between the spot healing brush and also the cloning tool. I get questioned every so often about it, and I thought it won't take but a couple minutes to go ahead and just show you what the difference is between the two of them. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you listen to our future videos.